Hi, Sue Charlebois here from New Normal, working from home and loving it. Today I'm answering a question for Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. So I said I was going to make a video about it because it's an important question. I was actually just going over this with somebody else, another client of mine who's opening a thrift store. And the question is, how do I determine my pricing, my product cost, and how do I determine my retail price for the product or whatever it is I'm going to sell? So there's actually three things that you're going to do to determine your retail price. And this is a little bit in terms of strategy here, so I want you to kind of stick with me. The first one is you're going to check out your competition. You're going to find out who your top competition is and how much are they charging for similar products to what you're going to be creating or selling, okay? So that gives you a ballpark of where you need to be. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a look at all of your setup costs, all of your running costs, and of course your unit cost, meaning your product cost for development. Okay, and then you're going to have to figure out how many units you need to sell to break even if you did, let's say, 100% markup. So let's say, for example, you bought this gadget for $5, you're going to sell it for $10. How many of these $10 pens do you need to sell in order to pay for the camera, the lights, the computers, the DNS, the hosting, everything that goes into whatever is making it, whatever it takes to make your product, right? And that might give you a very, very different number, but it's still a very important number. So let's say, for example, with the thrift store that we just did the analysis for, I believe the magic number was she was going to have to do 3 sales per day in order to break even. So then you've got to ask yourself, is that an achievable goal? Is it realistic to sell 3 items in a day on an online store? I think so. It could be. It just depends on the marketing, right? But the more marketing you do, the more costs are going to be involved. So you need to take all of those little unknowns or kind of fluid information and kind of put it into something that makes the most amount of sense, and then break it down over time. So let's say, for example, my overhead is $100 per month to run my online presence, and I've got to sell 20 of these pens. Okay, so that means I've got to make $100. So 5 times 100 would cover my cost. So I've got to sell 20 of these pens every month to break even. So in order to turn a profit, I've got to sell 21 or more. Now, is it worth my effort to sell 21 pens? Not really. It's not a good business plan. So you've got to sort of figure, okay, well, how many do I need to sell on top of my break-even point in order to, in order to achieve my financial goals, right? So then once you've done that, you can take a look at your price again and say, okay, well, if I did 100% markup, am I still competitive against my competitor? And am I still able to sell a reasonable amount in is the sales projections reasonable to my objective? And if it's not, well, then you have to either lower your price, either abandon your project, or raise your price, right? You've got to sort of figure out, is it worth my time? Is it worth my investment? Because you're going to investing money into your product. And what will the returns be? Will it be enough for me to feel satisfied with the effort that I've put in? So I hope that helps, and I hope it answers your question, Stephanie. It can be a little bit more complex than that depending on how big your business is. Now, I'm taking a very simple example, like making earrings where, I've got a couple of gemstones, a couple of backs, I put them together. I know what my product cost is. I know what it costs to run my website. But if you have a more complex type of setup, you might need to take in other factors, such as seasonal sales, or if you have like a promotions calendar that you're going to have to do 4 times a year, your algorithm that you're going to create might be a little bit different. But it's just really important to take all those factors into consideration when you're doing your pricing, and not just do the straight 100% markup. Really know what your numbers are, and it will help you to decide if that product is a viable product for you to be selling and putting your time and effort and energy into. Anyway, I hope you found this tip helpful, and please like and subscribe. If you want more information, please go ahead and buy my book. It's available on Amazon. Y'all have a great day.